Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm CrystalDivineQueen of My Indigenous Lifestyle, and as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about what are some things that could go wrong with home birth. We always talk about, home birth is so good, it's always the good options, but I just wanted to make a video today, just talking about some things that could go wrong and elaborate on some reasons that we may have to transfer to a hospital, right? Because we know that that's always a possibility. So thank you for tuning into this video. Let's get right on into it. I want to tackle some of these things head on, and just really talk about things that would make a home birth go wrong. And I wanted to also make this video to kind of elaborate and educate people on situations that might be considered emergencies or complications that a midwife is actually equipped to handle. Even if you're not having a midwife for your home birth, you still run the risk of, possibly having to transfer to a hospital. So you want to know this information as well, so you can just be prepared and know what to expect and know the signs and know, okay, this is a situation I can handle, or this is a situation where I need to make the decision. As much as I didn't want to end up in the hospital, I need to go ahead and make this decision to transfer to the hospital right now. So now I'm going to kind of go over some reasons that would justify transferring to a hospital. Majority of hospital transfers normally aren't even emergencies to begin with. Two major reasons that a mother or a woman in labor would want to transfer to the hospital would be because they're tired, they're exhausted. Labor is progressing extremely slow, and it's been hours, days, actually, not even hours, but it's been days, and they're just tired. That's a very, very common reason why mothers say, you know what, let's just go to the hospital. I can't take it anymore. I'm tired. And receive some Pitocin to, speed up the labor. The other reason would be that she has a desire for medication. And it's very similar. Labor can take a long time sometimes. And, you get tired, you get exhausted, you get frustrated, and then it becomes, home birth no longer becomes that conducive environment. Sometimes it just doesn't work out the same way for every woman. It doesn't work out the same way for every woman. But what I'm trying to say is, that home birth experience that your neighbor, your friend, your colleague, or whoever said that they had, that kind of inspires you and motivated you to have home birth, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that that's how it's going to be for you. You could be in labor for 5 days and you say, you know what? Let's go to the hospital. Give me whatever drugs they have. I'm ready to be done with this. Sometimes it gets to the point where a mother becomes very stressed. She's worried. She has anxiety. And then her body tenses up. And now birth is becoming impossible. And so we're going to the hospital now so mom can get some medicine to help her relax and she can get through this laboring process. Another reason may be that the baby is showing signs of distress. Now, this is like on a scale type of thing. It is normal sometimes for the baby to show signs of distress depending on the situations and the circumstances of your birth experience. However, depending on how things are going, are they progressing? Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? The midwife may recommend, you know what, I think that we should transfer to the hospital, because you have to remember they're trained to work in a situation where they want to avoid things becoming an emergency situation. So long before, it's almost like they work with a sense of intuition. If they see something heading in a direction, or they see something that could not possibly, but very likely to happen, then they'll recommend it way before they get there, so that, you can safely be transferred to the hospital and get the care that you need, rather than waiting to the last minute, all hell has broken loose, and now we're racing, fighting, struggling just to get to the hospital. Your baby being in a less optimal birthing position. Again, this is another sliding scale thing because there are things that you can try. Usually you kind of know before labor begins the position of your baby. Depending on how educated you are, you can kind of feel around for yourself and figure it out because you know the movements of the baby. And like I said, there are things that you can try. Positions, lift your leg up, all this, that, and the third, get up, move around to help the baby move around and get settled and in an optimal position. But after so many attempts, after several hours, possibly days, and nothing is working out, this could be a reason that you transfer to a hospital. Postpartum hemorrhaging is another one, meaning you've already had the baby and you're bleeding very, very badly or a lot or a little more than anticipated. The midwife might suggest that we go. However, the midwife does have tools in her medicine bag. She has things that she can try, so it's not an automatic, oh, you have postpartum hemorrhaging, we need to go to the hospital now. It may be a situation that the midwife can rectify right then and there in your home. Umbilical cord prolapse. This is when the cord comes out before the baby. This is rare, but it can be a emergency situation. Again, this is something that the midwife may be able to deal with, but she will make the call if she is unequipped and let you know her recommendation. Also, something else that is rare, but it can be very serious, is partial placenta delivery or your placenta not coming out at all. A symptom of this prior to giving birth could be, bleeding, unusual bleeding late in the second and third trimester. But that's not the only reason why. So don't just assume that, your placenta is in jeopardy just because you're experiencing bleeding. It's just a symptom. Any type of unusual bleeding, though, any type of unusual vaginal bleeding during or after birth can be caused to transfer to a hospital. If you have high blood pressure or a fever, this can be caused to transfer to the hospital, but this is also on a little scale as well, because I know from my experience, my blood pressure was super, super high after I gave birth, but I literally just gave birth, but it did come down. So if it's not coming down, this could be a reason to transfer. Or maybe you haven't even really begun labor yet and your blood pressure is skyrocketing and the midwife is concerned. She may recommend that we transfer to a hospital before things get started. Having a fever is also another reason that you may want to transfer to a hospital, because if you have a fever, that is a sign of infection. So the midwife may not be equipped. I mean, she may be able to give you antibiotics, if you requested her to bring those type of things with her, or if she did anyways. But that may be a reason to transfer to the hospital if you are showing signs of having an infection of any kind. A midwife is capable of handling tearing, but if it's severe tearing, like 3rd or 4th degree, then you would need to transfer to a hospital for that situation, but that would be after the birth experience, obviously. If the baby is having any difficulty breathing or their body temperature is inconsistent or not at a level that it should be, fever or way too cold. These could be reasons to transfer to the hospital. It's not always about the mom. There could be some issues going on with the baby that you would need to transfer to the hospital as well. Another reason that I found, which I'm kind of on the fence about, is undetected twins. Only because I've heard stories of women who did not know that they were having twins until the second baby came out and they had a home birth experience. I even know one story of one queen who had unassisted home birth. It was just her doula there, and she ended up finding out that she had twins, which is so amazing to me as well. But just know that this may be a reason that your midwife would recommend that you transfer to a hospital. Shoulder dystocia. This is when the shoulders of the baby get caught on some form along the pelvis. This could be a reason for a hospital transfer if the midwife is unable to, get you to move or maneuver in a certain position to, make the baby turn a more optimal way. This type of situation, they're more than likely going to just want you to birth naturally, undisturbed, if you will. Let you move freely and instinctually, not necessarily force you or tell you positions to be in. This is more of a situation where hands off is the best option, because rushing or forcing or trying to make something happen can create this situation to begin with in the first, and definitely will not help to rectify it. Neonatal resuscitation as well. Midwife is definitely equipped for it, but if she feels like this is a situation that she is not equipped for, she may recommend that you transfer to a hospital. And last thing is Makonnen, which is when the baby has a bowel movement while still inside of mom. This can be risky if the baby, inhales that when the baby comes out and takes their first breath, but this doesn't always happen. So this is another sliding scale type of thing. So that's pretty much it as far as like the reasons that you may be recommended by a midwife to transfer to the hospital, or maybe your doula is there if you're having an unassisted birth, or just things for you to keep in mind that you need to take seriously if you're having that home birth experience, because it could possibly lead to a hospital transfer if you're not able to turn things around naturally and holistically. But as I said, it's really relatively rare for your transfer to be because of an emergency. And if you have a midwife there with you, they are definitely going to be working to prevent those things from even occurring in the first place. Now, if you do have a midwife and the midwife suggests or recommends that you transfer, know that you don't have to. The decision is always yours. However, the midwife cannot be liable once they have put it out there that they recommended for you to transfer to the hospital. And I don't know if they do like documentation and stuff like that in those types of cases, but yeah, there is no law that says you have to go just because the midwife recommends that you transfer. 9 times out of 10, if you do decide to go, you're going to either take the ambulance or the car. The only difference is, the ambulance can put the sirens on and everybody get out the way so you can get there a little faster. But I would say, if you are choosing to give birth at home with a midwife, do your research and ask the questions. How does she feel about home births? Just because she's a midwife and maybe she is able to, assist you during your home birth experience, that doesn't necessarily mean that she is pro home birth. What are her rates for hospital transfers? This is an important question to ask and important information to know, especially if your goal is to be at home and not transfer to a hospital. You want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence to prevent it ever becoming an emergency situation. So that is it. That is all that I have for this video. As always, I hope it was informative and I hope that you learned something, Queen. And I hope that I gave you a piece of knowledge to pass on to another queen, or share this video to that queen. That would be even better for me. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do. Hit the bell. If you made it to the end, you better like this video and comment and subscribe and do all that good stuff. I love y'all, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.